Hi everyone, Bird here with the latest Citizen quiz. So today we're going to have a look very recently. So, I mean, having said that, I've done quite pathetically with this one. Quite recently, only back in last May. We're looking at the, not obviously May 2019, so it does sound a long time ago, doesn't it? It does feel a long time ago actually now, doesn't it? Obviously, we had a certain FA Cup victory again. We got that back, got another one of our trophies back that we perhaps should have done a little bit better on the last few years than we have done, obviously, the FA Cup. So we're going to have a little quiz on the FA Cup, inspired by, obviously, the FA Cup against Watford. I don't give too much away by saying I think we won this 6-0. I think we knew that, didn't we? So I'm not giving too much away there. Anyway, please, if you're new to the channel, push the old subscribe button there. That'll be fantastic. Plus the bell notification so you know these Citizen quizzes and vlogs and history of City, past and present, are coming out. So you'll get to know when these are out. And obviously, I hope you enjoy these little specials we do, etc. Please, thumbs up's always appreciated. It's nice to get views, but it's nice to get a quantity of thumbs up, isn't it? So if you can just spare a split second to do that, absolutely fantastic. Right, little quiz, 15 questions. You know the rules if you've done these quizzes. I've got loads of these quizzes. And all the links are below there for more quizzes, etc. 15 questions. You've got a total of 19 points, so not many multiple answer questions to this one. But answer in the time I do the quiz, which you can do. Do you want to play a bit like Mastermind where you have to be quick on your feet, or just pause the vlog, take your time and have a think about it. I'd be absolutely useless on Mastermind. I'd probably know most of the answers, but I'd just, well, that was proven a little bit when I watched a young lady do specialist subjects of Mastermind a couple of years ago now, where I did okay actually, but obviously I had to pause it and think a little bit. I wouldn't have done it under the pressure of being under a big light, anyways, which would have been quite hard, wouldn't it? Anyway, let's have a look at this FA Cup thing, and a few images I can show you as we're going through as well, depending on the questions, etc. Right, question one. Yeah, let's kick this off. Question one. City met Watford in the FA Cup finals, we know, but how many FA Cup finals, including replays, have City featured in? It's question one, just for 1 point. So include replays. I'm not going to cheat on you. You know, don't include the. We know about a certain replay, don't we? So how many actual cup finals, including replays, have City played in? Question two. How many had Watford been in, including the last one? Again, just worth a point. And I can tell you there'd be there's no replays for Watford. They've not been in any replayed FA Cup finals. Question two, how many were Watford been in? Right, so as we know, City scored 6 goals, didn't we? Right, but the goals was shared between 4 goal scorers. Who were the 4 goal scorers? I just about remembered them when I did it. It wasn't easy. I nearly got one wrong, but I had to think. So who's with City? Of the 6 goals, it was scored by 4 players. So can you name the 4 players who scored? I'm going to show you an image now with the next one. Question 4. Obviously, it's a celebration by City players. But who are they what are they celebrating? Who did they score? Who did they beat? By what score? You can tell me where it is, etc. But so what's the celebration for? Who did they beat and by what score? Not that easy. Just those nets in the background give it a little bit of a clue. The big net soles, aren't they? Big goal net soles. It's the only clue I can think on there. Who did Watford? Obviously, they obviously celebrated as well, didn't they? Big celebration there for Watford in semi-final, obviously in the FA Cup. Who did they beat in that semi-final? Not too difficult, I don't think. going back years and years, I'd probably struggle a bit, but obviously that was quite new, wasn't it? New in the memory, that one, so that wasn't too bad. But I would know most of City's opponents in semi-finals, but I would struggle with the other teams' opponents in semi-finals, to be honest with you. But I think that should be okay. Question 5, that's just worth a point. Who was Watford's semi-final opponents that they beat? Question 6. I didn't know. I forgot this one. Who refereed the FA Cup final? City and Watford. Who refereed the final? There's only sort of 4 or 5 refs, isn't there? They sort of tend to do these big games. But who refereed the 2018-19 final? Question 7. You got to finish the words here. Now we all know, obviously, the very famous. It's printed in the program, because obviously a lot of people don't know all the words. I mean, I'm not talking the national anthem, which is actually printed in the program as well, believe it or not. There you go. But abide with me. So that's the first 4 words, isn't it? But what are the next 4 words? So abide with me, blank, 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 blank. What are the next 4 words in the song? I just about remembered this, but it's not that easy, is it? I mean, I'm only asking for basically the first line, but it's amazing how many people don't know that. Abide with me. I'm not going to sing. I'm not going to depress you. 1 point for that if you can get the 4. You're not getting a half a point. You want to get 2 or 3 of the words right. You've got to have the words correctly, as printed in the magazine as well. So I'll show you that as proof. But you'll take my word for it. I'm asking the questions. Question 7, so that's just for 1 point. Question 8. Mentioning the national anthem, a duo sung it, a female duo. What can you remember the name of the female duo? I'll have the Italian version or the English version. I'll accept either, just for a point. I had no idea whatsoever. I forgot. I think I listened to it, but I can't remember. I think they were famous for some X Factor or something on my TV, a talent show, which I don't watch. So what was the name? Italian or English? I'll take either version. You're not getting 2 points for both. Just only 1 point up for grabs. If you get both, well done, but you don't get any extra points. That was question 8, worth a point. Question 9. It's an interesting one. This is one I did struggle on. I tried to work it out, but it doesn't work out mathematically. How many teams took part in this year's FA Cup in total? So all, last year's, not obviously we're part way through this year's, aren't we? Last year's FA Cup. Was it 636, multiple choice, 736, 836, or 936? How many teams took part in the 2018-19 FA Cup in total? 636, 736, 836, and 936. I tried to halve it down to get to 2, but it doesn't work out, because obviously it doesn't work out like that, does it? It's not simple. There's more teams enter than the rounds, obviously. It's not a straightforward double up every time. So, point for that if you guess the right one. I didn't give myself any points for that. I probably would have guessed it wrong, to be honest with you. So, I'm trying to be fair, because I didn't do very well on this one, but there you go. All right, question 10. In the 3rd round of last year's FA Cup, 2018, I'll have to say that, won't we? Because obviously we're halfway through one when I'm recording this. Whether it'll finish, possibly not. We scored 7, but who did we beat? We scored someone 7. We beat someone 7-0 in the 3rd round. But who did we beat 7-0? And I have to admit, I would have forgot this as well. Useless, how bad I am. Terrible. 1 point for that. Question 11, true or false question. So you got a 50-50 chance. In the 2018-19 FA Cup, the only teams to beat could be teams, to beat City were Welsh teams. To score against City, not to beat City. Wouldn't have been in the FA Cup final, but the only teams to actually score against City were Welsh teams. Were Welsh teams, or a Welsh team. Is that true or false? Obviously, we played third, fourth, fifth, sixth. So 5 games. So in 5 games, is no one else scored against us? No English team? That's question 11. True or false? Only a Welsh club or Welsh clubs scored against City. Question 12. Who was Watford's manager for the final? Do you know that? Again, I failed miserably. I forgot his name. So who was Watford's manager for the FA Cup final 2018-19? Question 12, just for a point. Question 13, there may have been one or more, but there's one guy that springs to mind immediately. Name a goalkeeper who played for both Watford and Manchester City in the past. There may be others that played sort of, lesser down or not as many games, but a high-profile keeper, let's say that. Name a keeper who's played for both Watford and Manchester City. Question 13. Just 1 point up for grabs. And question 14 and 15, it's like 2 in 1 here. So question 14 to begin with, excluding penalties, excluding penalty shootouts, how many goals did City score in the FA Cup, including the final, 2018-2019? I'll give you multiple choice in case you can't work it out. So again, make it a bit easy for you. It was either 22 goals, 24 goals, 26 goals, or 28 goals. So how many goals in total did City score during the 2018-19 FA Cup campaign? All the FA Cups. That's question 14. So I'll give you a minute to work out if you are trying to do it to time. I'll give you a minute to put in your head. You already know we scored 7 in the first game, didn't we? So you've only got to work out how many others we scored in the next 4 games. 5 games. And again, question 15 leads on for that. Again, excluding any penalty shootouts, how many goals did Watford score in total? Again, you've got a choice, multiple choice. Did they score 8, 9, 10, or 11? So how many goals did they actually score? And hopefully I can prove that in a minute when I go through in the book if I've added it up right. But hey, you can correct me if I'm wrong, can't you? That's 15 questions, 15 points up for grabs. So how well do you think you did with that? The Watford one I had, again, obviously it's a multiple choice. I would have guessed, but I didn't give myself any points for that. I don't think I would have guessed correctly. And City, I wouldn't have guessed City's correctly either. Probably not. Well, I might have done, but all I'm saying is I didn't know, so I'm not going to give myself a point anyway. Anyway, that's the questions. Let's have a look at some of the answers, shall we? 1 to 15, 19 points. Let's see how you did. City met Watford in the FA Cup final, including replays. How many cup finals has City been in? Well, obviously including Tottenham twice, obviously, so I'm including that. City have been in 12 FA Cup finals. Give yourself a point for that. Watford, well, 2. Obviously, they played Everton in 1984, I think it was. Yeah, they played Everton, got beat by Everton in 1984. So that's their only second final. So give yourself a point for that. City scored 6 goals, didn't we? So who were the 4 scorers? Obviously, David Silva, Jesus scored 2, KDB, and Sterling got 2. So there's 4 points for grabs there, 4 scorers. And you've had to just 4. If you put 6 or 7 down and pick and choose, that doesn't count. I mean, it's just give yourself 0 points. I mean, I just wanted the 4 scorers, obviously, the names of the 4 scorers. I mean, I could put the whole team down and then obviously get it right, couldn't I? So I'm just relying on you to be truthful in that one. And the celebration, of course. I mean, the celebration I showed you was obviously the semi-final, wasn't it? And it was just a very, very early goal, wasn't it, by Gabby? And we beat Brighton 1-0, as you probably know. So we've got Brighton 1-0, give yourself 2 points. So, yeah, that was the celebration we're talking about. Of course, Watford famously celebrating there. Of course, with Wolverhampton Wanderers, obviously in the semi-final, they beat Wolverhampton after being 2-0 down in the game. Obviously, they come back to 2-2 in extra time, and they beat them on penalties. Obviously, in the semi-final, so that's Wolverhampton Wanderers. Give yourself a point for that. The cup final referee, I'd forgot, man in the middle. Of course, it was Kevin Friend was the cup final referee, 2018-19. I'd forgot that. And then you've got the sing-along, haven't you? Question 7. Abide with me. So you can see the words there. Abide with me, fast falls the eventide. So we said fast fall the eventide. You're not having it. Just a point if you say fast falls the eventide. And then that brought us on to the duo, didn't it? I mean, the beautiful duo there. The young ladies. God save, and they even printed the words to God Save the Queen. So we haven't got much chance, have we? I mean, I'm not, that's just the first verse. I mean, most of us struggle with the second verse, don't we? But it just ends there, doesn't it? I mean, it's like Bluemoon. Could you sing that all the way through? No, not a chance. Not a chance. Anyway, it was Bella Voce, or Beautiful Voices in English. So if you said either of those, give yourself a point. But I have no idea. I've never heard of them. And I couldn't even remember them singing. I just remember that my lad going to the playoff final and wondering why everyone was booing. I can't remember the guy's name now who was singing the anthem before the playoff final in '99. I said, well, yes, because was it Russell Watson? I can't remember. I might be wrong there, but obviously he's a United fan. I thought he's getting booed, so he thought he was doing a good job. He didn't realise he was a United fan and why City fans were booing him. So that was quite funny. Anyway, question 9. Anyway, give yourself a point for that lovely young couple there. How many teams took part in this year's FA Cup? Well, it was 736. So if you said 736, give yourself a point. As I said, I probably would have said 836. I don't know why, but say if you half it each time, you don't get down to 2 because more than obviously there's qualifying rounds. It doesn't mean there's an even amount of games, etc. So 736 took part in the 2018-19 FA Cup. Question 10. Of course, 7-0. We beat Rotherham 7-0. So if you said Rotherham, I'd forgotten about that. It's all shame on me, but I have forgotten we beat Rotherham 7-0. So even that, I didn't say. I knew I even forgot we won 7-0. To be honest with you, that's just how my brain works. That was question 10. Give yourself a point for Rotherham. The true or false? Yeah, I mean, if you look at, just trying to get where they show in the program. Obviously, the route to the final, don't they? The round by round. And obviously, if you look at the page, if it comes out there, obviously, yeah, I mean, it's both Welsh teams scored against City, but the English clubs we played didn't in the 5 rounds there, and obviously in the final they didn't either. So obviously we beat Swansea 3-2, we beat Newport County 4-1. So yeah, it was true. So it was true statement. Only Welsh clubs had actually scored against City, or not beaten City, because we wouldn't have been there, would we? So only Welsh clubs had actually scored against City round by round in the FA Cup. There's a 7-0 Rotherham, just to confirm, which I had forgot about, but there you go. So that's true or false. Give yourself a point for that if you said true. Number 12, of course, the Watford manager, which had totally gone out of my mind who it was. Obviously, it was Xabi Gracia. He's mates with Pep, isn't he? I'm not too sure. The gaffer there for Watford. Great program. I mean, I know they're expensive, these programs, but I've been looking through it again for this, and it is a good program. just off the side. So give yourself a point for Xabi Gracia, not Garcia, Gracia. Gavi Grazia. And of course, name a keeper, a high-profile keeper. As I said, there may have been other keepers as well that had played for the two clubs, but obviously we're talking high-profile, so we're talking obviously Tony. Look at the difference there. Of course, Tony Creighton. And with my kids when they were little, obviously we were going out for a walk. I always used to say to them, "Put your Tonys on instead of putting your coat on." So that was just one of my things with the kids. I think I said it to them now, and they still sort of go, "Oh, Dad, But they quite liked it when they were young, but not so much now." So good old Tony Creighton. And obviously the excluded penalties thing. Obviously, how many goals in total have we scored? Obviously, if you take a look at Manchester City, 7-0 against Rotherham, 5-0 against Burnley, 4-1 County, 3-2 against Swansea, 1-0 against Brighton, and obviously 6-0 against Watford. So that's 7, 10, 14, 19, 26. So if you said 26 for question 14, give yourself a point. 26. For Watford, yeah, in the third, they beat Woking 2-0, they beat Newcastle 2-0, they beat QPR 1-0, they beat Palace 2-1, and they beat Watford, well, on penalties, but it was obviously 2-2 in normal time, wasn't it? So it only counts as 2 goals. You don't get a point, a goal for winning the penalties. 2, 4, 5, 7, 9. So if you said 9 for how many goals in total Watford scored, that was their thing, and that was good. That was a 1984 with Elton John there when they previously played in a FA Cup final. But no, I like that. If you've not got that program, I'm sure you can still buy it online. But it is a good program. They are good programs, but they are expensive, obviously. 10, but then again, 10 quid. Well, not too bad, is it? I know it could be worse, I suppose. But it's the size, isn't it? You got to lug that around with you. And if the weather's all right, you're okay. It keeps in good condition, but it's hard to keep in good condition. The weather's a bit lousy. Anyway, hope you enjoyed that quiz. That was 19 points up for grabs. How many did you get? Well, I'll tell you what I got. I would have got, or thinking I would have got, I got a pretty miserable 10 out of 19, which isn't great. So let me know what you've got in the comments below. That'll be great. Please, hope you enjoyed that. Thumbs ups, anything, comments below. Let me know what you thought, what you scored. That'd be great. Or you can follow me on Twitter at Charles Dineen. Dineen spelled DINNEN, and that's mainly personal stuff and city stuff. But I also have an account under at nostalgia_movie, which looks at films and city as well. So you can follow me on either of those or both. They're both linked together. And I'm on Facebook at Bernard Dineen with links to Movie Game Nostalgia, which is my sort of one of my little day jobs where I just sell old and rare DVDs, posters from the 90s, 2000s, and some retro older board games as well. So you can get onto moviegamenostalgia.com. Much appreciated. Just have a look around. You don't have to buy anything. It's just all to do with Google Analytics and making sure you've got the footfall to get you up the Google ladder so you get spotted more. So that anything like that, if you can get on it, and that all helps me one way or the other anyway. So I would appreciate that. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this quiz. Please, whatever you're going to do with the rest of the day, have a great one. Look after yourself, look after your friends, look after your family. And in these exceptional circumstances, when I'm recording this, please keep an eye out for everyone. Keep an eye on the vulnerable as well, as much as you can, and we'll all get through this. Anyway, thanks for watching. This is Bernard saying till the next time, goodbye for now. Bye-bye.